much. I hope everybody enjoyed the evening's boxing. Considering all the furore and negative publicity that went on leading up to this fight, but the boxers, and I think boxing redeemed itself in such a good fight. More importantly, irrespective of the outcome, as far as myself as Dereck manager and his camp's concerned, the respect both boxers showed to each other after the fight, which I always knew was going to be the case. I knew that was going to happen, and it just shows, I hope everybody who's out there can criticise, can see where we were coming from and what this was all about. And for me, it was letting boxers do what they do best, fight in the ring, and any problems they have, settle them in the ring. That's what happened tonight. And, for me, it's a great fight. Probably one of the best heavyweight fights I've seen for quite a while. We had a fantastic crowd here, even in the rain. They were singing in the rain, as Colin said earlier on. But it was, I thought the crowd was superb. The atmosphere was brilliant. Not a single bit of problem with the crowd. You know, all the doom and gloom merchants who were looking for football fan fights were unfortunately for them, it just didn't happen. Everybody came here to enjoy a good fight and a good night's entertainment, and they got that. As far as the fight's concerned, looking at the fight from the other side, the easy side of the ropes, for me, Dereck just, his heart, he's got the biggest heart, I think, of probably any fighter I've met. He's brave. He showed that by getting up from that second knockdown. Some guys would have stayed down. He got up. It shows what it's all about. If you cut him in half, it would say half all the way through. He could have done with getting his jab up. I'm sure he'll agree me with that. But can't take anything from David Haye. The best man won on the night. He was fast. He was speedy. Showed me, made me eat my words, that he's got. He showed a bit more grit, and showed that he was made of much tougher material than I thought he was. It was a great win for him. I thought it was a fabulous performance by him, and I thought that Dereck again showed that I think he's got a future in the game. I think that again, it's all about experience. I was hoping that these last few fights would have given him the edge, but as I say, he caught him in the second round. It was a good fight, good shot. Called David with a good shot, but at the end of the day, it's all about who's the best man on the night, and the best man on the night was David Haye. But Dereck, it takes two to make a good fight. I think that Dereck deserves a lot of accolades for getting in there and doing what he did. I'm sure if you've got any questions to ask Dereck, he'll be glad to answer.
Dereck, it takes a lot to put him down, but are a couple of good shots?
Oh yeah, first of all I would say, I enjoyed the fight, great fight, two guys came to fight, and I drew the short stick today, and I'm 20,000 down now, without paying 20,000. But a deal, a bet is a bet, so I'm excited. The fans enjoyed it, and after all we made up, great David Haye, we were putting up a great fight for the fans, and took a split second. I didn't concentrate on the second when he caught me in the shot. It was a shot like he was just back paddling. He just kept a lucky shot, but those are the kind of shots that knock you down, and I went down.
Are you proud of your performance?
A little bit, but not really. But I'll see anyway when I go.
Did you feel before he caught you with those shots that you could see? Was he perhaps tiring? Could you see?
The first round, he was shot. He was like going for it. I was covering up. I was hunting him down, closing him down. And then second round, he came again. And then third round, I realized he didn't have anything because everything he was chucking, it was missing, and I was catching my hand. And then I started pushing more. But I wasn't working on my jab. I don't know, for some reason, my corner kept telling me, use your jab, go to the body, and same thing that I didn't do it. And then I just closed up for about a split second and I got caught with the hook.
What next for you now, Dereck?
What next for me is I'm gonna go back to the gym actually. I'm not gonna like moan and say, oh, I lost 4 fights now and start moaning about it. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. There's some fights out there for me, and then I'll be back.
Do you think the way you've conducted yourself throughout, not just tonight, but the build-up to the fight and so on, has shown people that you perhaps learnt from mistakes? Are you thinking about getting your licence back and so on?
Got a licence. This is a licensed event.
No, I mean from the British board. Sorry, I'll rephrase it, but from the British board. Do you feel that you've sent out a message to them and to the rest of boxing as well?
No, I think I'll stay with Lawson.
He's not going to try his luck. But you know, this, like I said from day one, this event that took place was conducted as professionally as any event that I've ever been involved with. There was all aspects of it, medical side of it. The boxers were tested for drugs. I read somewhere there was no drug test. They were tested independently by the UK Drugs Organisation. They had 2 random tests. So they were tested after the fight. You know, everything that needs to be done has been done. And, you know, stewarding, the policing of the event was bang on. There was no crowd trouble. It was a great event. It was licensed by the Luxembourg Federation. And the Luxembourg Federation should be really proud of what they got involved with and done tonight. The scorecard, by the way, we've got the three judges' scorecards, and they had, if you want to hear them, Paul Thomas had it 39-37 to David Haye. Stan Christodoulou had it 40-36 to David Haye, and Nicky Van had it 39-37 to David Haye. It was a good event. It was a very good event, and more importantly, what I'm interested in this business is that the fans enjoyed it, and I thought at the end of it, it was a great advert for British boxing. The 2 guys showed what should have happened all along, settle their differences in the ring.
Derek, would you like another shot at David Haye?
I think they're going to go for the brother tonight. So I think the public will want to watch it again.
How do you think he'll go against Vitaly Klitschko if he gets that fight?
You know, Vitaly, we don't fight no more. He hasn't got power, so I think he'll do amazing. He'll probably win.
Charles, I'd like to ask you, obviously you're very disappointed. What did your man do wrong to you?
Basically, this kid here, right, I've been with him from the beginning, he's like my child, he's like my son. And like Fran said earlier, and if you cut him in 4 pieces and look inside, it will really hurt. But biggest heart ever, he's a warrior. And I've never, it kind of, when you, again, because of that connection I have with him, I haven't seen him in that situation before, so it was kind of a shock. Inspiring, this kid has never been down, I've never seen him in that sort of situation. In the amateurs, since the term pro, so it's kind of a shock initially. So, you know, look, I have to see, I know what happened, we know what happened. It was doing a lot of things on characteristics of him, of himself, in terms of the way he was boxing tonight. You know, when you want something so bad, I think that's basically what he wanted. He wanted this so bad that I believe it seemed that it wasn't flowing like it should. And yeah, look, it's one of those. We'll have to go back to the drawing board and tighten things. Can you yourself a fight, please?
Good morning. Yeah, get one. I don't want one. Yeah. Too many times.
So basically, like I said, yeah. Thank you.
11 o'clock.
Keep the plug out. Get the plug out.
Plug in it, yeah.
Press conference. Sound is like that.
Any more questions?
Dereck, there seemed to be moments in the fight when you did have him under pressure in there. Did you feel that while the fight was going on?
You know, yeah, I felt it. You know, the first 2 rounds were like, you know, Dave was like very snappy. You know, he was like coming big shots and stuff like that. And then Don said on the third round, you know, step it up. So we started stepping it up. We started going, and then his jab wasn't as snappy as he was in the first 2 rounds. And then, you know, I kind of just, as I say it again, you know, I just shut down on my defense and I got caught a lucky shot with a shot.
David, was that tougher than you expected?
Yeah, it was tougher, but Adam's a perfectionist, and although I believed it would be easier than it was, I trained for it to be tough. You know, I trained for the best possible Dereck to fight a guy who'd never shown up before. You know, and that guy turned up. You know, he put more pressure on me, and his defence was better in this fight than it's ever been before. And I'm glad that, you know, I didn't look at his prior performances and aim to fight that guy. You know, because he stepped up a level here. You know, he took some amazing shots. You know, he landed some good shots. I think he hit me with shots I didn't think he was able to do. And he did. He hit me some good shots. And when I was in there, it felt, you know, I could hear the crowd going mental. It felt like a great fight. It felt like it was both going, throwing power shots, throwing knockout punches from the first round. And that's what heavyweight boxing should be about. You know, I think this really put heavyweight boxing back on the map. You know, because you see these big super heavyweight guys with a big defensive, you know, just chucking a jab out occasionally and trying to nick around and points. And I think, you know, when you get guys who are similar in size, you know, who are willing to put it on the line and throw massive shots, it only helps the heavyweight division, and it only helps boxing. I'm just glad the event went as smoothly as it did. You know, all the negative press before the fight, you know, everyone can eat their words now, because I've never been part of an event that went as smoothly as this one did. Every single person who paid and watched this fight got their money's worth. Every single person. I heard nothing but praise for the whole event, and I just hope that, you know, the reporters reflect that in their writing tomorrow.
David, the first press conference, I asked you both what you thought of each other, and that was before all of this. Yeah. Now, David, what do you think for another match?
After sharing the ring with Dereck, you know, I've got a completely newfound respect for the man. I had respect for his boxing ability, but nowhere near. I didn't believe he was as good as he could be tonight. And he raised his game. He said to me before it, he said, "You better bring it." And I'm thinking, yeah, all right. But yeah, I'm lucky I did. Otherwise, it could have went pear-shaped. If I'd have turned up in the shape that I was, say, for John Maria's, there's a good chance I would have lost the fight, because I wasn't prepared then. You know, I was too heavy then, and you know. But I'm glad that training went as smoothly as it did. Because if it hadn't gone, if the preparations would have went like they went a year ago, you know, I can't guarantee I would have won the fight the way I did. You know, and I'm just very fortunate that things went great. And you know, in terms of Dereck, you know, I think whatever beef I had towards him prior to the fight, you know, I believe that's squashed now from my side, and I hope it's vice versa.
Is that the same for you, Dereck?
Yeah, it's the same, yeah. You know, now we can eat the same restaurant. You know, at least, you know, the great fight, you know, everything is done now. I have to give him 20 G's.
Not me, you give it to charity.
I'll give you 2 so you can give it to a charity anyway.
David, is that the flame reignited in you now? I mean, do you almost regret being out of time?
David, what's up, man? I'm good, man. Look at this fight. I promise you, I will destroy Vitaly Klitschko in September. And after this fight, we can make now the contract for you and for me. I want to fight you.
Fight who?
I fight Vitaly Klitschko.
Last time this
Manuel Charles.
Yeah, brother.
Assist Brum, I think his name is Brum.
Me and you.
No, he's the guy fighting us.
Good luck.
I heart is by the spot, it's possible about, you know. Heart, I have the fist. After this fight, I hope you can fight.
Good luck. Good luck. I wish you luck.
Good job, that boy. See you, bro.
It's a German who's fighting.
Take the fight.
David, can you tell us why you wore trainers, please?
Yeah, because you know, the last time round when I fought Vladimir a year ago, I wear boxing boots and it was raining, and it all got messy down there. So this time round I didn't want to leave anything to chance, and if it was, I had two different sets of footwear. If it was dry, I would have wore one. If it was wet, like it was, I changed into the ones that I wore, and it worked out fine. I wasn't losing any, I wasn't slipping around anywhere, and you know, it was just a precautionary measure.
David, where do you go from here?
I go to a club and do some drinking.
People are obviously lining up to fight you there. Is that reignited the fire, and can you see more than just one more fight?
I don't know. I've got to sit back. I don't want to make any. Obviously, I'm all pumped up now, so I don't want to make any rash decisions. You know, obviously, I've been the heavyweight champion of the world. I'd like to regain that title or another heavyweight championship of the world. If it's meant to be, if Vitaly Klitschko beats this gentleman over here, then I'd love to challenge. I'd love to challenge him for his title. If not, then it wasn't meant to be. But you know, if this was my last performance, you know, I can say I went out with a bang. I went out with a great performance, and everybody in the arena was happy.
Four days ago, we talked to the Italian people in Germany in Hamburg, and he showed, yeah, first of all, David Haye winning against Dereck, and then we're looking, you can call. Do you have his phone number?
I promise you, I will destroy Vitaly. I will destroy Vitaly.
We've had this once
and the fight comes, David Haye with Manuel Cha, you will see the fight. Manuel Cha also will win the fight. David Haye with Manuel Cha. Vitaly's time is out. Vitaly's time is coming in September. You want only to fight David Haye with me. But I will see. I'm the first Arabic heavyweight champion of the world. The fight for the best fighter from England. This David Haye.
Taoufik Belbouli was the first Arab. Taoufik Belbouli. Mistake.
Let's get back to the
Big mistake, my friend. Taoufik Belbouli. Back in Morocco. He was the first Arab world champion.
This is a press conference, please. Right, can we just stop? This is a press conference. Let the guys talk. The reporters to ask questions, because you know things get out of hand, and we've seen it.
I can't really give the guy any stick for piping up that press conference.
We relax. We're gentlemen here. No problem.
Everyone hold on to your tripod.
David,
Plastic ones.
David, where would you rate the first knockdown, the punch? How
To be honest, I can't remember. It's all a bit of a blur. You know, all I remember is being in the fight. When you're in fight mode, I've always been like, I can't really recall. But maybe he hit me with some big shots, so that's probably why I can't remember. I remember hitting him with a shot, and him coming back with a shot. You know, I remember normally when I hit people, they try to sort of either hit the floor or come. He fired directly back, and I think he caught me with a shot. So yeah, I think I hit him with a big shot and hit me one straight back, and I was kind of surprised, you know, that he did that. And so when it felt like he was going, I had to be really careful to punch with him, but be careful not to get tagged myself, because he reminds me a bit like Nigel Benn. When Nigel Benn was hurt, that's when he was most dangerous, and that's what it felt like when I was in there.
Is that why you hesitated in the fourth as well? He seems to have...
Yeah, he was playing possum in the fourth. He wasn't hurt in the fourth. I buzzed him a little bit, but he had his back. I could see it in his eyes. He wanted me to unload and punch myself out a bit, but I wasn't going to do that. As he showed at the end of the round, he pressed at the end of that particular round well. Finished the round good.
Dereck, I think a lot of people would have been surprised by sort of the embrace at the end of the fight. with all the animosity leading up to it. Can we, are we led to believe that there was some gamesmanship taking place?
No, it wasn't like that, you know, you mean at the end of the fight?
I mean, a lot of people didn't expect such a warm embrace.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you know, that was real. Of course it's real. Look, it's real. That was, that's what was always going to be the animosity. The animosity.
Yeah, I mean, all of the build-up and the hype.
Fuck you, man. Put your chin out here.
He said to the Southern Star from the local road.
Next question. Any other questions?
Do you have any fears, David, seriously, that Vitaly Klitschko will never want to fight you after seeing that?
After a performance like that, you know, with him getting on in age, you know, if he was one of his advisors, you know, if he was someone who invested millions into him to become the mayor of Kiev, would you say get in there and fight David, or would you say, okay, fight someone else with an unbeaten record? You know, like the gentleman who's scheduled to fight next. What would you do? I know what I'd do if I was one of his advisors. I'm a very dangerous fighter, someone who's proved his punching power against someone Dereck pushed Vitaly to the wire in that fight. He won the last round. He really pressed it, and the whole idea of this fight was to get a measuring stick to show how I perform against the same opponent, and I think the point was proven today that I'm up there.
Dereck said he thought you'd win that fight, David, if it happened. Would you be confident going in?
I'd be very confident of beating Vitaly. You know, Adam's always liked Vitaly's style from my style, and I got a feeling maybe this performance was too good. Maybe it was maybe if I was to struggle on points, the fight would be made. But after a spectacular win, I'm not sure if the K2 are in the business of having.
I'll come on next for you, Dereck. What are you going to get back in the gym? What would you like to do next?
I'm still in the box. I'm going to kick back for a bit, and then everybody will know soon anyway.
David, was it one of your best fights?
I've got to see it on video. I've got to replay it. Yeah, but a lot of people have said that they really enjoyed it. You know, everybody enjoyed it. Yeah, it was action-packed. It felt like action-packed from the start. It was a good pace, lots of punches thrown. As I said, everything about it, the promotion, it was second to none. I've never been to a show. I was just fortunate to be in the ring at the time. I'm sure I'd love to have been in the crowd, watching it and being part of it. I'm just happy that the fight went smooth and we're both healthy and we both move on.
Would you be ready to fight Vitaly this year or?
No, not this year. I don't fight that regular. He's fighting in September anyway, so I'm gonna go and chill on
here.
You saw what it was like in England. I'd love it in England. You saw what we brought for a non-world title fight here. That was a non-world title fight. How many other fighters in the world can generate that?
That's a massive fight.
Yes, huge. Yeah.
Adam, do you think it was much David's best?
You got hit, so he got hit. So no, probably one of his more entertaining. David's never been a left hooker either, so I'm pleased with the fact that he managed to land some decent left hooks. That was a plus. He shut down Dereck the majority of the time. I noticed that they'd been working. They'd noticed that David shouldered his right hand, so he changed the angle of his right hand when he was throwing it. So then David had to adapt to that. He just adapted to that, and I thought, great, okay, he's now in the group of where he should be, and then he decided to have a punch out with him. So he's always prone to do that because he loves looking for the knockout, and that's what I don't enjoy.
Frank, with this being such a good fight and such positive for British boxing, do you think this has lifted the stigma a little bit from what happened in Munich?
I think it has. I mean, I think this is what it was always about. You know, they settled their differences in the ring. They don't mean to sell you. You'll see what happened. You've all heard the guys speak. They're all professional boxers, professional athletes. You know, as I said to you before, boxers more. You know, I go and see a football match. I see a guy knock somebody over, jump up. Sometimes they've got their heads on each other. They're butting each other. referee pulls them apart. They're footballers, boxers. You know, it's very good to say because you're a boxer you have to control yourself more. There are times with, you know, with fighters, they're highly charged athletes. There's a lot of, you know, I don't mean it in a derogatory way, a lot of machoism and so forth. And, you know, things got stupid in Germany. That was nearly 6 months ago now. The border control dealt with it how they felt they should deal, how they said, you know, felt it should be dealt with. And the bottom line was, we put this show together. Now, when you ask, you know, for all those people who sort of slagged it off, do they think that boxing suffered? Was tonight a bad advert for boxing? I don't think it was. Did they show sportsmanship? They did. Was the crowd, which I'm interested in, were they entertained? They were absolutely entertained. It was a great night, a great show in London. It was a great advert for boxing. It was shown all around the world. You know, I don't think it gets better than that. I hope now that all this, the whole incident regarding the border control, I hope all this now is put behind all of us, and we can sit down and move forward together. But you know, the border control, from my point of view, you've got to understand, have been, and I'm a big supporter of British boxing border control. I am very conscious of what's went on, and in my involvement in this, I didn't have to think long about it to become involved with this. It wasn't, as everybody thinks, a massive big financial exercise. It was a big gamble. You know, we may not have sold the tickets, we may not have had subscribers, so we've taken that risk. But for me, it was all about the border control and the small group of stewards who are so out of touch and handled all of this so badly from day one. The President, Chairman, and a couple of his sidekicks, the way they've handled this whole issue is ridiculous. They had an opportunity, if they wanted to ban Dereck. If he was to be banned, he wasn't banned. And he certainly wasn't going to impose a self-imposed ban on himself. So here we are now. Great night, everybody's happy, fans are happy. Put it behind us, move forward, and let's see some more good fights. You know, these guys are two superb heavyweights. I really do believe on tonight's performance, David can win the world title back. I am quite convinced about that. And I know this guy here, he's going to be in the mix again. He just needs to keep saying about a little bit more experience. He does need that bit more experience. Got knocked down, his heart and him got straight up. He looks a claim hold of David or anything, because that's the type of guy he is. He's a fighting man. He's got a future. You know, David probably fights again this year or next year. You know, from my point of view, he made me eat my words today, and certainly words in the past. And he proved to me he's a true fighting man. He showed a lot of grit in there tonight, and you know, take him out.
Any damage, I believe, that was done in Munich with the altercation we had, I think it's well and truly fixed now. I think, you know, people said it was a black eye for boxing. Well, everyone's eyes, the bags are gone from boxing's eyes now, and I think that anybody who's involved in this show, watched the show, was there in the crowd. I think everybody's happy, positive. Everyone's gone home happy with a smile on their face, and I think that's the bottom line about this event.
Frank, if David does get any more big fights, will you be assisting in this promotion?
I'm not his promoter. They've got their own company, Haye VS.
What do you say, David?
You've done a great job tonight. You never know.
Adam?
Never say never.
License the thrill and never say never. Oh yeah, so these guys are, just so everybody knows, they happen to do their drug tests, so yeah, we're in a certain period, so they're off to do them now. Unless you've got any more questions, we'd like to wrap up and let them go off. I'm sure they want to get them an early night back to bed.